So today we're going to do a little rec tech demo for you with some new technology. I'm joined by Jan here from Candidately, which is a software for staffing firm. So Jan, just give them a quick intro and go right into a demo.
Cool, absolutely. Let me share my screen with you guys. Maybe you can just enable that, Chris, for a second. So I'm able to share my screen. Yeah. All right. Hope you're able to see my screen now.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris, for the invitation. As I said, my name is Jan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Candidately. Candidately, in one sentence, is a digital storefront for staffing and recruiting companies. So you can think of it a little bit as a Shopify for the staffing industry. We believe that the buying experience on the employer side has massively changed and moved much more online than it was before. When you look at the statistics a couple of years back, when you asked employers if they are looking to use online platforms for hiring, only 5% said yes, or that they're considering it. When the same question was asked last year, over 50% indicated that they're looking for a better online buying experience when it comes to staffing. When you look at traditional staffing today, the majority of the business is transacted pretty much via email. And if you look at over 10,000 staffing agency websites, you'll pretty much only find an online request form on the staffing website. So basically, we believe that staffing is roughly 5 to 10 years behind when it comes to digital transformation and how a digital buying experience for the employer could look like when you compare that to other industries like real estate or groceries. So with Candidately, we essentially want to enable every staffing and recruiting company to out of the box get much better digital storefront where their customers, their existing and new customers, can access their talent, have a better way to communicate about candidate submissions, and basically get access to the talent pipeline, as well as guide the client through the entire buying experience, meaning through steps like interviewing, skill testing, up to hiring the candidate, and ultimately paying the staffing company. So we essentially position ourselves as a SaaS product that sits on top of your ATS and gives you now the ability to communicate candidates to your customers better than before.
Okay, very good.
Cool. Awesome. I'll jump right into the demo in a second. I'm just going to go briefly through a few steps just to highlight the four main sort of value propositions of the product before we jump into the demo. With Candidately, we solve two use cases right now. So the first use case is candidate presentation. That means when you are a recruiter or an account manager and you work with your direct clients, you typically would attach a couple of resumes to an email and then send it to the client for review. What we do with Candidately is now taking this entire process and transforming it into a digital link that your customers can access and have now a much better way to give you quick feedback. And on your side as a recruiter or account manager, you have the KPIs and insights on the collaboration with your customer. Basically the four main value propositions that you get out of the product today is instant feedback, meaning that if you send your links with Candidately to your customers, you have much faster responses if the customer likes a candidate or doesn't like a candidate, or if they want to schedule an interview. We enable the customer to very easily just click on the candidate resume, have live chats to communicate with you, instant thumbs up, thumbs down feedback. So we've seen much higher, response rates and faster response times, which ultimately leads to faster submissions and faster placements. So that's one of the benefits when you start using Candidately. The second one is live communication. So instead of going back and forth on an email thread, your customer has a live chat where they can always reach out to you about a specific candidate and chat with your team live. And you have live insights. So what you currently don't have when you start using basically the regular manual process, you don't see if a customer has actually viewed a candidate, how long they have viewed it, if they're viewing a candidate resume right now, and if they maybe passed on the resume to somebody else on their team. And now with Candidately, you essentially have all of those insights, so you can react much faster. And last but not least, it's about branding, right? So we give you with Candidately out of the box a way to brand your staffing and recruiting company much better than before. Today, you literally only have your email signature that can represent your branding. Now with Candidately, you have a much better exposure to your customers to actually perceive your brand and become more sticky with your business. So that being said, we think that the future of staffing and recruiting will be very instant and digital and delightful. And we are building essentially the tool to help every staffing company go into that direction.
Very cool.
Cool. So yeah, for today's call, I'll just give you a quick demo of the product. So I'll walk you through how a typical account manager or recruiter would use Candidly today. I'll talk a little about the product roadmaps. We are very early with that product. So we essentially launched the product only 2 months ago. We already have tons of customers actually using it live. So I'm super excited about that. And we are now releasing features almost every week. So basically you'll see improvements coming almost every week live. So yeah, let's get started. And now in the next couple of minutes, I'll just walk you through sort of how Candidly works, and then we can jump into some questions.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're an account manager and you want to present a couple candidates to your customer, you simply create what you call a list on Candidly. And this list can be either based on a specific skill set or based on a specific requirement that you're working on. So let's say those are my top 3 candidates for Tesla. Just as an example, that you could, name this list by a requirement or by any title that you prefer. And now you have 2 options. You can simply drag and drop a candidate's resume here into this window. So you just parse or drag and drop the PDF or doc file of the candidate, and we parse in the data. So we pre-create the candidate's profiles for you and pre-fill things like the job title, the most important skills, the work experience, the availability, and so on. And you also have the option to basically import candidates from your ATS. So not only you can simply drag and drop them here, but if you have, for example, Bullhorn, you could already import candidates from your Bullhorn database, and we're currently working on more integration. So in the future, you will see Candidly being integrated with most of the important ATSs used by staffing and recruiting companies. So
that would be Bullhorn, Crelate.
Bullhorn. Crelate, that will be CPAL, that will be a couple versions of the Salesforce sort of ecosystem. There's a couple ATSs that are built on Salesforce used by staffing firms. That will be also some newer ATSs like Gem or even Lever that are sometimes used by staffing and recruiting companies. And we'll also have a Zapier integration. So basically, if somebody has data that they need to move back and forth between the systems, they'll be pretty easily able to do that here.
Okay.
So now I'm pretty much ready to go. I can see my candidates being pre-populated here. I can now edit the data. So if I want to adjust any additional data points or want to add any data points to make them visible to my customer, I can do that here. So you can see the candidate name, the job title is pre-filled. I can adjust skill sets, so I could add additional skill sets or delete the ones that we have parsed. Typically, we parse the most important ones that we find on the resume. You find the work experience, and now I could do things like say that this candidate is available in 2 weeks, is currently located in, let's say, Brooklyn, but is also willing to relocate, but let's say only to sunny Miami, and is also open for remote jobs. And my bill rate for that candidate would be $90 an hour. In addition to that, I have the option to add a recruiter note. So either I have a small write-up why this candidate is really great for this particular role, or I can simply add the AI-generated suggestion that we create here. So we basically, like our system writes an automated write-up about that candidate based on the resume. Very soon, and we're releasing, actually, when you probably see this video, it will be already recorded, but early July, we're releasing custom fields. So besides the default fields that you see today here, as a customer or account manager, you'll be able to edit fields and add additional data points, things like the candidate's social profiles, or maybe a video or skill attachments or any additional documents. So now I'm pretty much good to go. I just set the list active, and now I have the option to share my list. I could share this list now by grabbing my public link. So I could just grab that link and even embed this on my email signature, or even share that on an email. Or I could now invite a specific customer to view that candidates. I can do that real quick here. So I could say, hey Tom, here are the 3 candidates. So I could add a small message here that the customer will see and send it. So think about this like inviting somebody to your Google Drive. Now your customer will receive a branded email that will basically take the customer directly to the link of all the candidates that they would be able to see. And then that's pretty much it. They'll be able to communicate with you and give quick feedback on the submissions. So let's take a look how that looks like. I'm just going to refresh my email. So you can see I received that email here. It would say the message, it would have the company, staffing company logo, and will be branded in their colors and color codes. And now I can open it quickly in incognito mode to see how it looks like. This would be the customer experience now. So now I'm as a customer, I'm receiving that link from my staffing firm. The customer opens this link, both on web and mobile is highly optimized. And you can see the branding. So you can see the header here, the logo of the staffing firm. So you have some representation of the brand. And now as a customer, I can scroll through the candidates here, click on a specific candidate, and now I would see all the information that the staffing firm has provided me. And I can even start messaging. I could say, hey, I like that candidate. Let's schedule an interview. And what's really cool here is now I don't see the resume. So maybe I have customers that maybe I'm not really familiar with. I don't want them to see the entire candidate resume up front. They would only see a snippet and could request to view the resume. So I could actually press to request the resume. And on my other screen, I could go back. I would find the message that my customer has sent me, and I can now immediately reveal the resume so my customer can see the full candidate's profile. So I can go back here and now preview the profile and the resume, and then also schedule an interview and basically have a live communication with my team, with my client here. Chris, any questions maybe in between?
Yeah, can you integrate? Can you suck in a LinkedIn profile, like the PDF from LinkedIn?
Yes, we are currently working on that actually. So basically what will happen is you'll be able to parse the profile. Right now you can actually download a PDF file from LinkedIn and essentially drag and drop it into Candidately, but we'll be building a more direct integration where basically you just have a Chrome extension, and then within this list you will be able to click on import from LinkedIn, and it will basically pre-create the profile here. So it will be pretty easy if you hover over a candidate profile on your LinkedIn account. You want to add that candidate to a specific list to do that, and then share that with your customers.
Yeah, it seems like this is a kind of a utility tool, right? So instead of using email to do all this, the staff firm using this tool to interact with their clients, and I do see the value there. But just talk about that a bit.
Absolutely. So, we see the two use cases. One is the candidate presentation use case, which is something that happens on a daily basis, right? So an account manager would typically send a couple emails with candidates attached to their customers. So instead of doing that, you would, as you mentioned, like use Candidately to do this entire process. The benefit of this is obviously the KPIs and insights. So unless you have an email pixel, you will see that somebody has opened the email, but with Candidately, you would see how long somebody has viewed the candidate. Are they viewing the candidate right now? Have they passed on the link to another hiring manager internally, and that person has looked at that candidate? So you have much more insights into sort of the client interaction, and you have a better way for the client to review candidates on the go. Typically, what we've seen and from the conversations that we had with our initial customers, it's usually a tedious email thread, right? So it goes back and forth on, recruiter sends a couple emails or a couple resumes to the customer, maybe attaches a couple other ones and sends it over. Customer views that email on the phone, then misses the couple resumes, and they will ask, hey, I saw you sent me 2 resumes. Where's the third one? And it's a back and forth, and it takes a long time. Here, you could just say, here, dear customer, click on this link. All of the candidates that you want to see are there. Give me quick feedback if you like one of them, and let's schedule an interview. So this time to basically get this initial step to schedule an interview with a candidate is now being much, much faster. So that's the first part. So that's something that a staffing and recruiting company would use on a daily basis. The second use case for this, which I find super interesting, is candidate marketing. So let's say I have 50 candidates coming off assignment next month, and I want to take that candidate list and promote it already to existing prospects or maybe existing customers. So instead of just adding free candidates, I could create a list with my top 50 candidates in Chicago, add them here, and then make that list available wherever I want to promote it, right? It could be embedded on my website. It could be embedded in the email signature of my account manager. It could be in a newsletter. So basically, you're now actively selling your candidates or promoting your candidates to customers. And the benefit of this is it's not salesy, because you can basically go in and say, hey, dear customer, we know that you're always looking for specific candidates. So instead of us asking you every week if you have, specific requirements, here's a cool list that you can always access. You can, with one click, just message our account manager if you're interested in a specific candidate, and then we'll make the introduction and schedule the interview for you. So the real benefit of this is not only candidate presentation, but I see it much more as I see like the holistically as digital storefront to actually use this and use those links, even to have them embedded on the website. What I said before with real estate is like, if you're a real estate broker and you don't have your apartments and houses on the websites for people to view and click and review and then get in touch with the broker, probably nobody will request a catalog and a callback, right? So that's pretty much the same that I see here in staffing. Obviously, it requires some data management. So the candidates that you're presenting should be the ones that are really available. So this could be two use cases: one, candidates that are coming off assignment, but also sort of silver medalists, people that you have interviewed but not placed, but you have a time frame of maybe a week or two where you know that they're on the market. So you could take that and basically use it to make more placements and make more business and present yourself to your customers in a more digital way than you do today.
Cool. Just a couple more questions before we wrap up. What's the next big feature you're going to add to the product?
So as you see, we have analytics that are coming soon. This is going to be released next week. So you'll have on each list insights and analytics. It will be custom fields. So you will have the option to just add fields that that you desire to present to your customers. And it will be an updated candidate profile. So if I quickly share this link here on my screen again, right now, if you view the list and click on a candidate, you will only have this little box here. We're changing this to a full screen candidate profile, and with a chat on the right hand side, the fields on the left, and a big view of the resume in the middle. So it's less clicks for the customer actually to view the resume. That's key. So we basically realized this from the first launch. Right now, you click and you have to still do a few more clicks to actually get to the resume. With the next iteration, it will be for the customer literally one click to see the resume or see the candidate.
Recruiters hate clicks, hate clicking. So
yeah, for sure. So that's something that we've already learned and improved. And so those are the three big things that are coming up very soon. And then after that, we have a few things that will follow, which are obviously integration. So we are now finalizing our integration with Bullhorn, which would sit within the iframe in Bullhorn. So every Bullhorn customer will be able to essentially turn on Candidately on their Bullhorn marketplace and start using it. And then after that, integrations with more ATSs will follow to essentially embed ourselves in the ecosystem and have more staffing companies get access to the product easier.
Okay. Last two questions. Tell them what the pricing is, and then tell them where to go to sign up.
Absolutely. So the pricing is right now $49 per user per month. So the user would be an account manager or a recruiter within a staffing firm. There is no limits on the lists or end clients that you're sharing the links with. So that's basically unlimited. And to access the product, you can just go to candidate.ly and click on join waitlist. Depending on when you see this video, maybe the gates will be already opened. Today we are in sort of early access phase, so we really try to speak with the initial customers and get them onboarded, sort of in a white glove experience. And in a couple of months, we'll be opening it, so everybody will be able to just sign up from the website.
Very cool. And tell them where to go to sign up.
So if you want to sign up, you just go to candidate.ly on the website, and then you find the button that says join the waitlist. You can just enter your email, and our team will be in touch with you to get you started.
Yeah, you're going to run into a little bit of there's a couple other softwares out there that use the word candidate in their name, so just be aware of that. I think the candidate.co is one I just wrote about recently, who got some
cool
funding, I think. So it might cause a little confusion for some people out there, but just keep that in mind. But yeah, I like the product. It seems like it's it's a useful tool to staff firms, and good luck with it, and keep us informed as to how it's going.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate you having me today, and yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted.
All right, Jan, thanks very much, and thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.